This used to be my favorite one-mark question in school. What is democracy? For the people of the people, by the people. So I never thought what it means till I started working on right to information. What it really means. So when I went on further working with people, looking at various stories of injustice, etc., I found there are 5 things that are needed to make a democracy work, and these are those things. You need transparency and accountability. You need political and social equality. You need rule of law. You need freedom to do things. You also need a responsive state, which kind of response to citizen states, and an informed state. People like us who know things, go on and fight injustice. So for far too long, for about 60 years in this country, this is the state. So the government does not want to reveal anything. So the bureaucracy acts in a way which is like, you don't know anything. We'll keep you in the dark. So follow us. So it could be we end up bribing people because we do not know the rules. So somebody says you have to pay 300, wait for 3 hours, 3 days. So it has been happening. So you revolve, go from one door to the other, you go to an office. So one points you to the other, the next person points you to a different table. So this happens. The Aam Aadmi has nowhere to go, but so this has been happening for the last 55 years till the Right to Information Act came out in 2005. So what was the result of all this collective ignorance that we had in the last 55 years? So instead of citizen being the ultimate master, now the equation is upside down. So now the bureaucrat or the neta, or, the system has become the master, whereas the citizen is at the mercy. So what changed? In the last 7 years, has anything changed? And we have seen many revolutions, many movements. I think there is a very significant change, though it is not visible outside, that this act has brought about. It's a very small act of 22 pages. So this has brought in great changes. We look at what are the changes that it has brought in an action. So right to information simply means all the information that is with the government is your information, my information, is citizens' information. So there is a procedure to obtain it. So for example, we never dreamt of 10 years ago that Prime Minister Manmohan Singh would say how much he earned. So his asset details are online. So the budget details. So what is spent on lunch in PM office, what is spent on, what is the Prime Minister's office spent on. So all those details are online. You would have never dreamt of 10 years ago. Then, okay, these are things that may not be useful to the Aam Aadmi. Then let us come to the Aam Aadmi. Now, a lot of times we end up paying price because we are not aware of the rules. So nobody knows in how many days one particular work needs to be done. So all the duties, all the rules are now online. You also have how officers consult with people. Now, most of you in Hyderabad are facing inconvenience with the metro rail. I don't think anybody, the GHMC or even the state discussed with us if you need a metro rail or not. So there was no public consultation. So how do they do public consultation? All that information is online. How much do they earn? How much do they spend? So how each penny is all this is taken from government websites, there is a source. So you also know what information lies online, what information can you get from the office. So all in a way, it changes a lot of equations. So the earlier slides were about the educated. What about the uneducated? Now this is what is happening in villages, right next to in the Rangareddy district. This is from Rangareddy. So you have walls of panchayats painted with the list of beneficiaries, saying these are the people who got entitlements. So you can go and check if your name is there or there is a fictitious name, you can find out. So these are new ways of enabling democracy where the citizen can now question things, citizen can get what he needs. Now, all these things like right from your getting your PDS, fair price shops, to pensions, to old age people, widows, to getting their entitlement. All this has become a little easy because people now know what is the money that was meant to them, how it is being spent. Now this is an incredible story from Kashmir. The man on the right side, his name is Bashir Ahmad, a daily wage laborer who earns not more than 3,000 a month. So this man was working on an irrigation canal work where he found that there was something wrong. So the material was not proper. So he used right to information, exposed them. He was offered a bribe of 1 lakh. He didn't relent. So a daily wage laborer, you would not have. These are incredible stories. 5 years, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you would not imagine the Aam Aadmi fighting with the system like this. Now all these urban problems of roads with potholes, your passport, all these have become a tad easier because we have right to information now. And right, so right from here. Now these are something that happened very close to in the city. For example, the US consulate, before they set up their office in Paiga, they cut off a huge tree, very old tree. There was a huge furor. The consulate said we didn't ask the government, whereas AP government said they asked us, we cut it. So again, that was exposed using right to information. The state of Andhra was kind of manipulating farmer suicide data. That was exposed. And this is one story from the Delhi Jal Board, where the World Bank was literally dictating whom to award the contract. So they said, if certain company does not get the contract, cancel the whole process, redo it, because we want that company to get the contract. So how people were even manipulating policy. So that was exposed only through right to information. then we've not known about these three great people. There was no right to information. So in fact, almost all the scams that you see, these three these three in particular, have their right to information connection. So each of these scams were brought about only because there was right to information. Then we also have our great former president. So how much she spent on her foreign enactments, 2,000, not 5. Now how does this make a difference? I'm sure Pranab Mukherjee will spend a lot less than this, which is in a way saving our money. Then a lot of students out here who probably want to join IIMs, 4 years ago, there was a black box. So your CAT score is input, output comes whether you get a call or not. Nobody knows what happens inside. Now only because of right to information, each IIM tells you much beforehand how do they select people. So all this because of right to information, because somebody questioned, visibly challenged women question. So that happened. Then what has right to information done? So it has exposed blatant abuse of power. Now corruption happens two ways, either abuse of power or you misappropriate funds. So it has exposed all this, it has reduced delays in service delivery, it has greatly improved the record maintenance officers, because officers were in such a bad shape that even if you ask for information, they are not in a good shape to give. And from a situation where we were blindfolded and we were off the cliff, we were about to fall off the cliff, because of right to information, we now have the remote in our hands where we can make the system work according to our wishes. Thank you.